Hello, we're back with fucking Vagrant story on fucking this day. Yeah, I told you I'd probably get back to it. And we're on the first boss, the Minotaur. Now when fighting the Minotaur, the first thing you want to do is make sure you have your best beast weapon equipped, which I do. That's one. Now that's one reason you need to save your healing items with your boss fights. Every time you beat a boss, you get a random stat increase. Oh, god damn it, I want the strengths. Every time you defeat a boss, you get a rank up and a stat increase. Remember, always grab all. Every time you find a sigil, you need to use the sigil. Because, or Grimoire, because it gives you a spell. And the heal spell is gonna be... The heal spell is gonna be the most important spell in the game. Oh yeah, you can't learn that one unless there's an enemy there. But you get a long variety of magics in this game, and the heal spell is the most important spell in the game. Besides Fixate, or Fixgate, which is another spell you'll get later. Anyway, after you kill the Minotaur, make sure you grab the chest. Every time you get a new piece of gear, make sure you equip it. anyways, as I stated from the beginning, this is an excellent game. It's definitely worth playing. The graphics and atmosphere are genius. And how can you forget the evil villain Sydney? Like I said, the story in this game is quite complex and actually has a lot of twists and turns. If you actually care about the story, it's actually pretty good. Although it does flash back to this scene way too often. It's one of the first games I ever played where there was a blatant fucking murder in it, especially a wife and child. I always thought that was kind of fucked up. But, like I said, it's a dark and gritty game, and the atmosphere fits it perfectly. Now you can use your defense and offense abilities as you just saw by setting them to your fucking skill. The most important skills in this game, I have to stress it, is reflect damage and reflect magic damage. They will be some of your most important skills. So keep... Alright, now this is a trick that everyone needs to know if you're going to play this game. That's that statue right there. This is where you need to pick your human weapon. Do you want your human weapon to be axe, sword, or bow? Those are the only choices you have at the start. But in order to defeat some of the bosses at the near the beginning, especially when you first get out of this dungeon, you have to pick your human weapon and build up on this statue. There's also where you can practice the combos to learn chain abilities effectively. But if you do not build up a human weapon at this point, you're fucking up, because there's a boss right when you leave this first labyrinth that is nearly impossible to kill unless you have a good human weapon. But there are not that many human weapons. But there are not that many good human weapons. I gotta remember the Chang sayings, because you gotta get the timing down. But there are not that many human characters you can build up on in this first dungeon. So yeah, I gotta relearn the chains. I gotta relearn the chain. Too fast. Too fast. Chain timing takes a lot of practice, but I know this seems monotonous, but trust me, you gotta do it. It'll make life a lot easier on you in this game if you do this shit now. And like I said, it gives you time to practice your chains anyway. Especially if you're like me, forgotten the timing. There's another statue at the end of the game where you need to build up your evil. So if you picked an evil weapon by then, you need to fucking build it up on a statue near the end of the game. Because there aren't that many evil enemies in this game except for bosses. So having an evil weapon at the end of the game for the final boss is very rare to have a good one. Too slow. It's hard to get the It's hard to get the timing down on these chains. I know they give you an exclamation point to help you out on the timing, but it doesn't always help as much as you would think. What the hell? 1 second, my controller seems to have stopped. I must investigate this one moment. I apologize for that. Something fucking happened. My controller was fucked up, so I had to do something real quick. I got caught off guard. Anyway, kill this statue. Bye. Ah, can't get past 6. What the fuck? Ah, I had up to 8. God damn it. Too fast. Like I said, it is for practice, but you also need to build your human weapon up as high as you can. So you gotta fight this statue until it dies. And at the end of the game, you want to do the same thing on the evil statue. Oh, so close to breaking 8. Ah, god damn it, can't get past 8. Ah, I made it to 10. I reiterate, this may look boring as hell, but if you don't do this, you'll have a lot harder time later on. I made it up to 15 on the chains. Once you get the rhythm, it's easier to do more combos. Oh yeah, you also get some items for killing the statues. And every so often you can acquire new abilities for defense and offense. Like Snake Venom, Numbing Claw. Now, Gain Magic is a decent one. Let's see what defense abilities we can choose. Just the element. Nah. I want to check Gain Magic. Now, Temper is a good one. Now, after you defeat the dummy, the next thing you need to do is bring your risk down. Otherwise, you'll be pretty much useless on regular enemies. So after you spend all that time destroying the dummy, you want to make sure your risk returns to 0. Oh yeah, another thing. After you destroy the dummy, de-equip your human weapon and never use it again until you leave the first dungeon, because you'll need that human weapon for that boss fight I was telling you about. So do not re-equip that human weapon until you're ready to fight that boss. Otherwise you'll have a lot harder of a fucking time killing him. And of course, make sure you save. That way you don't take forever to have to build your weapon up again. So make sure you save after that, otherwise you'll have to kill that dummy all over again, which is a pain in the fucking ass, as you already saw, if you're still watching the video, of course. Now the best thing about the heal spell is it restores a good amount of HP, but it also restores your body damage, so you don't have to worry about the body damage as much because you can restore it with the heal spell. And that's something you should always keep in mind. The heal spell is probably going to be your biggest tool for survival in this game. Already been in that room, haven't I? Yeah, already been in that room. That's where you got that one treasure chest. Now this game does have a lot of backtracking, so be prepared for that. So yeah, you gotta be prepared for that, because this game has a shitload of backtracking. restore my body damage. Try to keep your body damage at maximum. Hey, Burger. Now we're going to start fighting the undead enemies. So now's the time you pick your undead weapons. Now the only other weapon you have at this point is the crossbow. But later on you could pick a different undead weapon, but the crossbow is the only one you have at this point. So I'd say use the crossbow. Of course, later on you can use whatever weapon you choose. Like right now you got the rapier from killing him, so if you want to you can switch to the rapier immediately. But yeah. You just gotta remember to make sure you pick a certain weapon type for each enemy, because you'll need all of them. But the crossbow is useful at the start, because on this part you can stand on a ledge and just pelt them with the crossbow and you don't have to worry about taking any damage. See what happens when your risk gets too high, your hit percentage is fucking garbage. But if you're not engaged, you just exit combat mode and your risk goes down relatively quick. Of course, each weapon type has their own rules on the chains, so you gotta remember that. Depending on the weapon type, you gotta remember the rules on their chains. You gotta get the timing down for each weapon type, which obviously I wasn't doing with the crossbow until near the end. Well, I tried to. Anyway, you gotta remember the weapon type also affects the timing on the chains. So yeah, you gotta keep track of all your different weapons and what affinities they have. The best thing to do is when you're in the shop, when you're in the fucking workshops making the weapons, I would name them after the affinity of the enemy you're trying to kill. That way you know exactly what they're used for. Like, if you're making a weapon for the enemies, like beasts. If you're making weapons for the enemies for specifically, like, you know, I'm going to kill beasts with this weapon, make sure you name the weapon like Beast Slayer or some shit. You know, it's good to name the weapons after the enemies you're trying to kill so you don't get confused. Can't remember, is this the golem? No, it is the Durahan. Now at this point you do not have an evil weapon, so therefore this boss is a pain in the ass because you do not have an evil weapon. close one on that boss. Ah, not MP. Damn it. Oh well. That's another one you have to use on enemies. Anyway, after that boss fight, you want to make sure you cast the heal spell because that boss fight was tough. Yeah, that way you can restore your bodily damage. Like always, make sure you grab the fucking treasure. Oh. Those were good traps. Fortunately, I landed on the good traps. Once again, you're at a save point where you can fucking store gear. Yeah, you can see there's nothing in the container, but you can store any item you want to store. So if there's anything you want to get rid of, this is the place to get rid of it, as I already covered in the previous one. But we're going to end this one here. We're going to end this one here, but we're actually starting to get into the actual game now. But yeah, we're going to end this review here just because it's starting to get late and I don't have much more time. But we'll continue this game probably. It depends on if people actually watch the videos or not. But if y'all actually watch these videos, I'll continue this game. Because it is an excellent game and it deserves to be played in its entirety. But it's all up to the people watching the videos. Anyway, if you like my videos, please subscribe. It is Random Pout. Y'all have a good night.